guys, this is Lokarimi. Quite excited to be back on the second episode of the season. I am glad. Why do I sound like I'm in like some radio? I've genuinely been listening to a lot of podcasts and watching a lot of YouTube videos. So let me rephrase that. Hi guys, this is Lokarimi. I am back. I am excited to share a new conversation with you guys. Now, I hope you listened to the first one. If you did, you remember I talked about a place where I was saying you put an asterisk, like a star there, because I'll come back to that. And that is essentially the conversation we are going to have today. Kept and Kempt. So this concept of kept, the best way I can explain it, like an older person keeping you and meeting all of your needs, either as a man or as a woman, because these days it's going either way. So for someone who is kempt, they really don't need to think about anything about their lives. They just need to exist and have a good time, because the essence of being kept is that all your needs are being met and your only responsibility is to look the part and actually enjoy the life that you have been provided for. So the requirement of me would be to show up, look the part, and enjoy life. You see what I mean? Like, I have to look good and I have to, like, do whatever it takes to just look like a kept woman and enjoy the benefits that come with that, right? Now, as I was thinking about this concept, prior to this analogy, God was trying to explain to me the essence of being a shepherd. Now, every time you say, oh, the Lord is my shepherd, and even you go ahead to quote the scripture in Psalms, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie in green pastures. By the way, I know the whole memory verse because we recited it since Sunday school, teenagehood. All my life, we have been reciting that memory verse. So believe you me, I know what the words of the verse are. But God was like, do people really understand what it means to be shepherded? Like, does it make sense to them when I say that I am their shepherd? Do they even understand the role of a shepherd? And I was like, please tell it to me, then I will tell them. Tell me, I will tell them, because me, I understand, but tell me so that I can tell them. So now this is the conversation I was having, and this is the response that I came up with. Now, when God is talking about shepherds, he's talking about the TBT shepherds. Today the shepherds, the people who look after flock, they typically just beat them. You go, they are walking in front, and then he's there with a rod, making sure they're not going in the roads. Sometimes they don't even care. It's like, you hit my cow and pay me, hit my cow and pay me, and then the drivers now have to be cautious and all that. But when talking about a shepherd, at least biblically, the shepherds typically used to go ahead of the flock, and they had such a training, the flock had such a training that wherever the shepherd went, they knew they could not follow anyone else. They always followed the shepherd. So every time that God is encouraging you, saying, I am with you, you are not alone, I am walking with you, beside you, before you, all that, it is true, because guess what? He will not call you into a valley that he has not gone into first. Because as a shepherd, if indeed you consider him your shepherd, then you are following him. He is not following you. So if he is in the front, guess what? If there's darkness in front, it is him that is encountering it first. So if there's fire in front, it is him encountering him first. And one of the pictures that God was bringing to my mind is the picture of trying to cross like a small stream, like a river. Technically, if it's you and a child and you want to cross that river, if it's a parent and a child, the typical outcome will be the parent would carry the child over to the other side, right? And there are moments for that where God is like, you know what, let me just carry you through to the other side. You're not grown enough to jump this water by yourself. But then in other cases, think of a father and a son. There will be cases where the father would step inside the water and be standing on a pebble or a stone, and then when the father is standing there, they would call the son, come, imagine, look at me, I'm like in the water, you can come, you can join me in the water. And then when the boy walks in the water, the dad would like go outside, and then they keep calling the son to the water, because he's like, you know what, I've been in these waters, they're not deep enough. In fact, if anything, this my son can walk and run in this water. They're only afraid. You see the analogy? And the concept is, you are never doing it alone, because I did it first. If I am calling you to walk in the fire, I walked in the fire first. So I'm not telling you to come and get burned. I'm telling you, hey, I have walked in this fire, and trust me, this one is not going to consume you. Because if the parent, in the case of the water, knows that the waters are too overwhelming, there's no way they are calling the child to walk. If anything, they will either carry the child, or they will go to the other side and find a different means, then bring the means so that the child can walk. Same analogy, it just reminds me a lot about how sometimes I've seen my dad do it. When there's a child there, they're like, leave him. Like, because I have a small nephew, I'm a whole aunt, and I sometimes I hear my dad be like, leave him, let him try and do it. He got this, he can do this. And it's not typically something dangerous, but to the child, he may feel like, this is a bit too much for me, it's a bit too overwhelming. And I've heard him say the same even to me as a grown woman right now. And he's like, you know what, you can do that. Just, you don't need me to help you handle this, even if it's something like electronics, because I'm still that babe that I need my dad to handle all my electronics. And my dad is like, okay, this one you did not need me. You can just, if you just need a screw, you can do this. You got this. Like, I've taught you enough, you got this. And it's the same essence. So every time he is calling you to do something challenging, he's not calling you to be at it alone. He's just saying, imagine you got this, because if you really are calling me your shepherd, then you trust that I've walked the waters and I know they're not deep enough. You trust that I've walked in the fire and I know it's not hot enough to take you out. Whatever it is, it's not big enough to take you out. So even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, this is the essence of David saying that, for as long as you are my shepherd, as I am walking through the valley of the shadow of death, I am afraid of nothing, because what you are with me, literally, you're just there. I am looking at you. I am walking right behind you. So it may be scary. It is a valley. It is shadow of death, whatever that would have meant. But even in it, I am walking right behind you. So if you are safe, then I am safe. If someone is biting you, then I'll know to run away, because if whoever is biting you beat you first. You know what I mean? Yes. And the other thing was that the herd of cattle is typically kept in what do you call this thing? A barn. A barn is not for chicken. Like in it is locked in somewhere. Uh, so the herd is typically kept in, I want to say in a manger, but then I'm like, a manger is what Jesus was born in. What is the word for this? What is the word for this? Oh my goodness. I don't know. Is it a barn? I feel like a barn is the only word that is coming to mind. But whoever, for the sake of this conversation, I'll look it up later. But as for now, let's just go with the barn. So the kettle is kept somewhere, and it is in a shed. Yes, the kettle is kept in a shed. And in this shed, there's provision for food and safety, right? But food and safety is only assured if you remain within the barn. If you walk away, then you'll have to fend for yourself. So if any cow, sheep, goat, or chicken, I don't know, whatever you are keeping, if it steps out of the shed, then it has to go fend for itself. It has to look for its own water, its own security, its own like covering, like in case of rain. It has to fend for itself. It has to clean up its own poop and all those things. You see what I mean? It has to milk itself and make sure it's like its breasts are not engorged or anything. All these things, it will have to fend for itself because it has left the shed. But for as long as the sheep or the cattle are within the shed, then every need is met there. So that is where you will see that the man in charge, the shepherd, will come, will milk the goats or the cows. He will feed them. He will give them water. He will clean the shed. He will make sure that they are well kept. He will treat them if they are sick. He will identify. Actually, my dad, because I was sharing this with my dad, and my dad told me, because we do have some chicken, some duck, and some other two animals, they are back at home. And my dad was telling me, because he is the shepherd to his flock, his animals that he has kept, he keeps track. So even if the poop of the chicken is a bit different from the typical one, my dad will know, and he will be like, these chicken are about to be sick, so I'll preempt this. I'll go get medicine and give them so that they don't get sick. Or these animals, they are about to suffer this, or they are hungry, or that mowing or that crow. I don't know. Those sounds they're making is because they are distressed or something is happening or there is danger or something like that. They are trapped somewhere. I need to go help them. Because the shepherd is keen about the animals, he or she keeps track. Do you see what I mean? And so God was like, that is exactly what it means for me. As long as you are within my shed, my barn, or whatever, my home, my manger, as long as you are within my custody and you have chosen me to be your shepherd, if you do not go astray, all your needs are met. Trust me. All I need you to do is stay put, stay within my custody. I will provide for you food. And I think that is the essence where the Bible says, do not worry about what you will drink or wear. Because if God is really providing for the birds of the air, it's because the birds are like, you know what? I got no one. I have no hands. I will not fend for myself. You have to come through. And so God is like, if you have really chosen to be within my shed, how is it that you imagine that I will not provide for you? How is it that you sit and you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to die of hunger. I'm going to be sick and die, that no one is taking care of me. If really he is your shepherd, then even as you are walking through your sickness and you are unwell, remember the previous video, in your unwellness, can you trust that I already preempted that you're going to be unwell? I have given you the medication. I'm taking care of you. It's just that you have to walk through the unwellness. Say you hurt your leg. I'm not going to let you bleed to death, but the pain will be there. But I will clean your wound, I'll nurse your wound, I'll make sure you are treated accordingly, you're eating healthily, but the pain of the wound will be there. The pain does not negate the fact that I have taken care of you. Do you see what I mean? And so God was like, if you really, truly, truly understood what it meant to be a shepherd, then you will know that you are kept. All your needs are taken care of. Like, it's literally like that Babs Wamam situation. Kept. I have kept you and I am taking care of all of your needs. When you are sick, I'll take care of you. When you are well, I'll take care of you. When you're hungry, even when you feel sleepy, I know your nap time. You don't need to remind me that you need to sleep. Guess what? I am the one taking care of you, so I'm the one also dictating. I'll be like, oh, it's nap time. You're going to be tired. It's time to sleep. Like, I can tell it's nap time, just go to sleep. Oh, it's feeding time. Even before you tell your shepherd that you're hungry, it's like, oh, it's about that time to feed my sheep. And God was just like, have you really understood what it means for me to be your shepherd? Because some of the things you worry about, it really makes me think that you are without a shepherd. You are sheep without a shepherd. That is why you're stranded. You are worried about who will clean your poop because you are a sheep without a shepherd. Oh, if you had a shepherd, then you'd know who to call. You'd be like, oh, it's past my lunchtime. Why is it that I'm hungry? And then the shepherd would be like, oh, you're fasting today. You're fasting because you have a gut problem, so you have to fast. If you knew and trusted that you have a shepherd, then you would trust that you are kept. Yeah? Now, that is on meeting all of your needs. The other side is on the Kempt. So Kempt is that you're clean. That thing that high school teachers used to like to say, be well kempt every morning, meaning your shirt is the collar is up, the tie is on point, the shoes are clean, your hair is like combed and all that. That is what it means to be kempt. Now, to be kempt can be a little bit uncomfortable. Let's just be honest. Think of sheep. Sheep have the following needs. They poop, so someone needs to clean their poop. They have a lot of wool. Someone needs to remove the wool, because if the wool overgrows, then it's going to be heavy and it's messy. Plus, I tried to study up on sheep. They also have insects that come and they just enter their noses, their eyes. It's disturbing. That the essence of pouring oil on the sheep. It's a whole thing. I don't want to go that path. But being kempt means taking care of your appearance, right? The Bible says that Solomon, even with all his splendor, could not outdo the grass. The grass are well dressed by the Lord himself. But the Bible also says, do not worry about what you drink or how you dress. The Bible also says that the Lord has honored you. He has crowned you with glory. I mean, think about it. The Lord has cared. He turns ashes into beauty, because he's like, you know what? I am your shepherd. Like, I need you to be well kept. If you're not believing in the whole sheep situation, think about Ambabs. Ambabs is like my girl needs to get her nails done, her hair done, a new outfit, new shoes, a car. She cannot struggle. She needs to have a skincare routine done. She needs to go have a facial, a massage. I don't know, whatever you need, you will be kempt. You are well taken care of. Your appearance is always on point because you have a shepherd. Now, when it comes to animals, one of the things that the Lord was highlighting to me is that one for, see, like horses, how to keep horses clean is, other than cleaning them and combing them, is also shaving their hoofs so that they're able to run. So their hoofs need to be shaved. And for sheep, they also need to be shaved, the wool. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's so uncomfortable. If you have watched all these videos of sheep being shaven, it looks so uncomfortable. And God was like, yes, it's uncomfortable because number one, you're gonna be cold after I shave you, and also, who likes to be shaved? Shaving is just an unnecessary thing. I remember when I shaved my hair back in the day, I was like, this thing is so uncomfortable. Like, it's really so uncomfortable. But even right now, when you go to the salon and someone has to braid your hair, it's uncomfortable. You have to sit up for hours and someone is pulling on your head and your scalp is itching and aching and all these things. So being kept is uncomfortable, but it's necessary because you have to keep up appearances. You have to look like someone that's kept. You will tell a difference between sheep that are kept or cattle that are kept and those that are not. Those that are stray, they're feeble and they're dirty, and those that are unkempt, they are like that, and those that are kempt, they look nice, their skin is glowing. Even dogs, stray dogs and kept dogs, these things are different because they are kept and kempt. Their appearance is taken care of. And so God was like, as a shepherd, I make sure that the wool is shaven. Now, wool may grow to your advantage. It grows so that you're kept warm and all that. But then too much of the wool begins to wear you out, and it begins to make you be heavy and dirty and filthy, and it traps a lot of dirt and all those things. So I have to shave it. The good thing is, as I am shaving it, you are not left bare. It's the same thing with, if it's a cow. Milk is good for you. It's supposed to feed your young one, but being milked is not fun, and it feels like you're losing something of value to yourself. So even as a sheep, removing the wool, it feels like you're losing something of value to yourself. But God was like, you are never losing something of value. When I take what you have done and I give it away, when I take the things that I've given you and I give them away, no, I am not stripping you of the good things. I'm making sure you are not overlay, like you are not feeling heavy with the things that I've given you. So sometimes God, it can feel like God has given you something and then he's taking it away. And God is like, no, I'm not taking it away. I'm being a good shepherd. I'm making sure that the wool does not make you heavy and it does not overwhelm you. I'm making sure that the breast milk does not make you engorged and you have this, what is this disease when when you're breastfeeding and you don't give away the milk, or the milk does not come out, and then your breast has pain and whatever the disease is, that is what I'm talking about. And God is like, I am being a good shepherd. I am making sure that the things that I've deposited in you do not overwhelm you. There has to be an outlet for all these things, but you will not enjoy it. You will not enjoy when I'm calling you to heal internally from your traumas, when I'm calling you to change. You will not enjoy when I tell you to change your attitude and change your speech. These things will not look like fun. It does not feel nice to be corrected and to be called out, but this is how I keep you kept. This is how you are kept. This is how you are kept to look clean. This is how you need to shave your beard. You need to look presentable. You need to be productive, to be able to run, to feel lighter. All these things are necessary. And so I have to keep stripping you of every burden, every weight. I have to keep removing it. And as uncomfortable as it may seem, you have to trust that it's because I am a good God. I am a good shepherd. And his relationship with human beings, his essence, and the entire Bible is to just prove to people that my heart is right. My heart is for you, human beings. I love you so much. I will do whatever it takes to take care of you. And I have done whatever it took, because I literally say my son, I died and all that. Like, I took the shame, I became a curse and all those things. But then he's like, as a shepherd, I do whatever it takes. So I will leave you in the shed and I will go hunt. I will go look for grass and I don't know, whatever sheep are eating. Those things, I'll go to deep lengths. I'll work so hard, I'll sweat so that I can bring you produce. And while whatever I am shaving from you may benefit other people in the world, you are not disadvantaged. When you give away your milk, you cow, you are not when you're giving away your milk, you cow, you are not being left disadvantaged. This milk is going to help other people, but guess what? It also is creating more room in you to keep producing milk. When you're shedding your wool, you sheep, you are not being disadvantaged. I'm not taking something nice away from you, but rather I am creating a chance for you to become and to grow and to be better. And so you have to trust my heart that I am a good shepherd. And the reason I am doing this is because I really intend, I plan and I intend the best for you. And so that was the other thing that God was teaching me about being a shepherd, that if really you will call me your shepherd, then you will understand that you are kept and kempt by me. I keep you. I take care of all of your needs. I preempt your needs. And that is why the Bible says also that before you say what you need, like God knows, even before you present your needs, He knows, like all these things you may be concerned, He knows what you will need. He knows that you need to eat. Your Father in heaven knows, because He is your shepherd. He literally is there. When there's an enemy at the gates, he's up. He's the first one up to see, are you guys in danger? What can I do? If there's a weird sound, he's up. If you're crying, he's up. And the better news is that this our shepherd God does not sleep or slumber, so he's literally always up, just watching out on you and being like, oh, my sheep are really well. They are fine. They are kept. They are healthy. But then I was like, so what is my role as a sheep? And he was like, oh, nice one. Your role is to be kept and kept. Do you understand? Like, your role is to just be kept. You just tell me what you need, I'll take care of it. Like, you just tell me what you need and trust that I have handled it. So when you tell me you need food, trust that I have handled it. And if I tell you that no, you can't eat right now, trust that I am saying that because I have good plans for you. Trust that I am saying no food because I know you need to fast so that you can maybe deliver that child, or maybe you need to cleanse your system or something. Trust everything that I'm telling you because I am your shepherd. And you are mine, literally you are mine, and I take care of the things that are mine. So best believe I am taking care of my sheep. And your only responsibility as a kept and kempt person, as a kept or kempt woman or man or sheep or cow, I don't know which animal you prefer to be, but your only responsibility is to remain within the shed. Whether yours is a shed or a barn or a manger, your role is to remain within, because if you step out, He cannot protect you, He cannot provide for you, He cannot guide you. He cannot know your needs. And I guess that is the point where the Bible says, abide in me. You cannot leave the vine. Literally, if you leave the vine, you die. I cannot fend for you outside of this space. So you have to remain within the boundaries that I've created for you. The good thing is God has given us pretty wide boundaries, because the earth and its fullness belongs to Him, and He has given us dominion over the earth. So imagine the earth being your boundary. I don't think that you're locked in. You're not limited, really. Your shed is as big as the world, as the earth. Everything. Like how a shed is typically put in a small corner in a home. No, God is saying, like, your shed is this entire earth. You can have dominion. You go, be fruitful. So your only responsibility as a kept and kempt woman is, number one, to remain in the shed. Keep abiding, keep staying. That's the only way He's able to tend to your needs. And then the second one is to be fruitful. You cannot just be eating and being fruitless. Like, that is a concern for the shepherd. He'll be like, wait, you have been eating for 1 year continuously. You have not borne any fruit. Are you barren? Is it that you're barren? Let's just address, are you barren? Why are you fruitless? Why are you fruitless? And you have been eating, you have been shaved, you have been taken care of, you've taken the medicine, you have played, whatever you need to be doing, you have done. So explain to me, as your shepherd, why are you fruitless? I created this shed, this earth for you guys, and I have provided everything. Actually, the Bible says I have given you everything that pertains to life and godliness. So if it comes to provision, He has provided whatever you need. But then He's asking, why aren't you abiding in me? And why aren't you bearing fruit? Because some of you, some of you have refused to stay in the shed, stay under God's protection. And so you keep feeling bad when things go south, and God is like, that's not on me. You decided to go fend for yourself. If you want me to fend for you, then come back. And then to some of you, you have stayed, you have abode. Abode is a word. You have stayed in God's covering, but then you have also refused to bear fruit. And guess what? It's either you're barren or you are cursed. See, when the fig tree was not bearing fruit, Jesus cursed it. I think I mentioned this on a previous video. Jesus cursed the fig tree that was not bearing fruit. And also the Bible says that any branch that does not bear fruit, it is cut off and thrown into the fire. So really, it's either you're cursed or you're barren. And barrenness cannot survive under God, because God is literally the God of fertility, if anything. And then also curses cannot survive in God, because the Bible says he whom God has blessed, let no man can curse. Like, you try. And that Jesus himself became a curse that we may be blessed. So really, curses and barrenness cannot exist among those that have abided. I think abided is the word. Abided. Why is it that I've come back with very little English? But yeah, so those that have stayed with God cannot be barren and cannot be cast, and thus fruit is required of you. Fruitfulness is required of you. Remember that sheep hear the shepherd's voice. So really, disobedience is not an option. If you have chosen to stick under God, if he tells you move, you move. No questions asked. If he says jump, you jump. You don't even ask. You know the one they say, you do first, ask later. No, you just jump. You don't even ask. You're like, I heard he said jump, so I am jumping. Because as the shepherd, as the sheep, you have to trust that the shepherd knows whatever he's doing. You trust his heart for you, and you trust that if he's telling you move, he's probably seen something that you don't. As far as I'm concerned, I need to start enjoying my life. As a kept woman, we are reclaiming these words that everyone has made. But when I say I'm a kept woman, best believe I am kept by my shepherd. So yes, as a kept woman, I am about to enjoy this life. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to bear fruit, and I'm going to act in obedience, because I have chosen to abode. Hey, we aboded. We aboded. We are not unabiding. So, as part of the abiders, part of those that have subscribed to God being my shepherd, I'm going to enjoy being kept. And when he has to Kempt me, when he has to come and shave me, you know what? It's gonna be painful. I told you about the previous experience. It's gonna be painful, but I'm going to comply, because I know that he is asking this of me because he knows it benefits me. So yes, again, trust your father's heart. Trust your shepherd's heart. He is a really good shepherd. He will take care of you. Yeah. So yes, share this video with someone you like, someone you love, someone you don't really love, or someone you want to encourage, so that they can feel kept as well. And even to the kept society, the other kept society, share it with them. Let them know and understand what being kept really is about. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and stay blessed. Bye.